fear no man, but that thing. It scares me.
Alright everybody, welcome back. So, for those of y'all who don't know, the 10.7 battle rating is kind of thriving right now. It gets tons of down tiers, and so I'm actually going to be covering quite a few of these in the upcoming weeks. I figure we start off with one of the strongest ones, and that's going to be the F-5E. Now, this plane has been in the game for quite some time. It came out in, I believe it was Red Skies with the MiG-23, and it was an absolute menace on release. As the years went on, it kind of got power crept until recently, Gaijin actually made the decision to go ahead and move it back down to 10.7. That means, of course, you cannot fight top tier planes anymore, and it also means that you get sucked into that premium build matchmaker that I've talked about before, where you have a ton of planes at, that 9.7, 10.0, 10.3 region, and so essentially you never get games above 11.3. And most of the time you're going to be getting 11.0 or even 10.7 games, because very, very often you're going to be at your own VR. And so what this allows you to do is to just sit there and kill tons of C-25s and A-10s and F-5Cs, of course, and pretty much everything else in the book. And this thing's flight performance is absolutely nuts right off the bat. Now, if you've flown the F-5C before, imagine that, but you let it pull harder and you give it better engines. That is the F-5E. And now instead of having to do 2 whole BR steps, there's only 1 BR step above it. It also has better missiles, and we'll get to those here in a little bit, but the big thing for me at least is the flight performance, because one of the huge issues with the F-5C is that you're fighting, supersonics quite often, right? And you're in a plane which has a hard time breaking Mach. Now, this plane still doesn't really like to break Mach, but it has an easier time getting up to it at least, and you're not going to be sitting there starving for engine power like you are in the F-5C. And you still have that amazing energy retention, the great roll. This plane is one of the best dogfighters in the game, especially now that it's at 10.7, because you're actually able to use that to your advantage. When it was fighting top tier planes like the F-16 and the MiG-29, well, unfortunately, if someone decided that they just didn't want to fight, they could just run away. People at this PR, for the most part, don't really have that luxury, shall we say. Now, you do get a few planes, of course, you got MiG-21s and Kafirs, F-104s, and other stuff like that can and will outrun you. But this at least doesn't have you facing them literally every single game, and quite often you will run into situations where you're fighting, Harriers, A5Cs, other stuff like that, which are either at the same speed or slower than you, so you're actually able to catch most of the stuff in your matchmaker. Now, when it comes to the guns, the M39s did actually get affected by Real Shatter. So I would personally recommend running the AP belts. They just give more reliable damage since they do actually set fires. And as long as you get a good burst, and like you can see, they do actually kill. You also get a radar over the F5C for what it's worth. It doesn't really make much of a difference, to be honest. It doesn't even have IFF. For those of y'all who don't know what that is, it's identification friend or foe. And so what that means is that every contact is going to show up the same on the radar. I can't tell who's a friendly, who is an enemy. So for the 3 of y'all who do play Sim, keep that in mind. Just because someone shows up as enemy on your radar doesn't mean they're actually an enemy. As for the missiles you get, this is another upgrade over the F-5C, like I said. It gets the AIM-9J instead of the AIM-9E, and these missiles are just pretty mediocre, to be honest with you. The range isn't what they used to be. It's like around R6C range, maybe slightly better. They pull 20 Gs, which is enough. I mean, it gets the job done. And their flare resistance isn't really all that. Now, I got lucky in this case. The F-5E just either didn't cut his burger in time, or it just was too close to and ignored it. But in most cases, this thing is going to get 1 flared. It has the same seeker head, it has the AIM-9E, the AIM-9G, the AIM-9H, all the rest of them. So if you've used any of those, I'm sure you're familiar with how easy it is in most cases for it to flare, but sometimes you'll get lucky and you'll just ignore them. Yeah, you do only get 2 of those AIM-9Js, so you're going to have to get most of your kills with your guns, and for the most part, that's not an issue. Like I said earlier, you can catch everything pretty much. You get plenty of ammo to spray, which is one of the nice things about it. And compared to pretty much every other gun at this BR now, I would actually take these over them, just because I'd rather have semi-reliable AP damage than, real shatter high explosive. I will say, Defas and Aidens are still much better, because they have enough high explosive failure that they actually consistently one-shot. But I would 100% put those over stuff with, like, for example, the Gish, or the NR30 or Gish 30 now. Because, unfortunately, even though I used to love those guns because they actually did reliable damage, now I get hits and crits with them. So, if I'm going to be having that anyways, I'd rather have the higher velocity that these offer. So, it is what it is. The guys are made their bed. We got to lie in it now. And hopefully, Real Shatter will be changed. I doubt it. But at least at this point, the gun does actually semi-reliably test fire, so most of your kills are going to be coming from that. Now, one other really cool thing, unlike the F-5E, the flares in this drop individually. So I run flares in chaff personally, just because you never know if you're going to run into someone like a name Nazi or someone like that, and you're not expecting it. But especially if you just run flares, you're going to have, I believe it's 45 drops is what this thing has. So 45 single drops of flares, that is more than enough for any battle. Now, I figured I'd go ahead and show some, ground RB gameplay as well, because this thing is actually really viable in ground RB as well. It fits into that 10.7 matchmaker for ground nicely as well, and just like air, 10.7 gets tons of down tiers. 4 Mavericks and 2 AIM-9Js in a 10.7 match is actually really, really good. Admittedly, they're only B Mavericks, and I'm not a huge fan of Mavericks in general, but at this BR, they're still totally fine, and now that you can disable night battles, at least I believe you can, I haven't been getting any, you don't have to worry about that not working at night either. So it's a great addition to your 10.7 ground RB lineup, and I would 100% recommend using it. Serves as both your fighter and as your CAS, and it's just overall really nice. It's good that it's actually been moved down, at least in this case, because before there was just really no reason to play it when the F-4E existed at the exact same BR. It's just better in every way. Now, to get what many of y'all probably clicked on this video for, and that is going to be my giveaway. So if y'all haven't seen my previous 2 videos, I'm hosting a giveaway right now. As of the time of recording, there is 7 days left until it ends. I believe it'll be 5 days left whenever you see this. So just keep that in mind. It's going to be ending July 10th at 10:54 Central Time. It's going to be showing you exactly what time that is whenever you go into the Discord. And speaking of which, what do you have to do to qualify? So first of all, you need to be subscribed. I want a subscriber to win this. I don't want some random person that clicked on the video for a giveaway to win. So make sure you're subscribed. Second of all, you have to go ahead and leave a comment, preferably like as well. And then lastly, you have to join my Discord. So the way I'm actually doing this is I have a giveaway button there, and all you gotta do is just go to the channel in my Discord, click on the little reaction emote on there, and it'll go ahead and enter you automatically. That'll be what selects who wins. That way it's impartial. You can't say I chose favorites. I want to make sure that this isn't as fair as possible. Now, I do want to say there is actually over 1,000 people now in this, so it is incredibly unlikely. But in the unlikely scenario that you happen to win both of them, I am going to re-roll. You would keep the higher one, so I'm giving away a rank 7 and a rank 6 pack. You would keep the rank 7, and I would re-roll the rank 6. Because I don't think it's fair for everyone else that, one person would go ahead and win both. So just keep that in mind. It's incredibly unlikely, because as of right now, you only have a 0.0019% chance of winning both of them. There's a 0.0009% chance of winning at all, just one of the packs. So it is what it is. I just figured just in case I go ahead and mention that. But in any case, I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. I really enjoy the F-5E now. I used to hate it, but at 10.7 it is actually pretty baller. So I'll see y'all next time, and peace, y'all.